Okay. So we completed with the 2025 questions. Next we shall begin with 2024. Okay, we shall begin with 2024. So here we have considered the following: battery storage, biomass generators, fuel cells, rooftop solar photovoltaic units. How many of the above are considered distributed energy resources? Okay, distributed energy resources. So during the normal classes also we have seen, but just go through the content. Okay. So in the content I have given some brief information about the same. So distributed energy resources and electricity grid. Okay. So generally, what do you understand by electric grid? Just go through content. Yes. So interconnected systems. It may be what generation, transmission, distribution, all the things together we call it as grid. Okay, grid. So components of grid and many other things I have given, not important. Just to build up the backup I have given, but you need not go through each and every point. Okay, each and every point. So what is distributed energy resources? So small scale electricity generation, storage or demand technologies located near the point of consumption and connected to the distribution grid. Very important. So here, what is the advantage of what? What do you understand by distributed energy systems? Resources. So energy is being generated at close to the source or close to the consumption entity. Okay. Now here we are consuming the electricity. So here itself, if you have solar power plant, solar panels, so this is called as distributed. Okay, distributed. So here I have given much more details. For example, what is transmission, what is distribution, and all. So if you want, you can just go through the content. So here, when it comes to distributed energy resources, they are connected to what? Distribution networks. They are not connected to transmission network. So somewhere I mentioned about the transmission network. Just go through it. Where I mentioned in point number? Okay. Okay. So one is transmission grid, another one is distribution grid. So from power plant where it is being electricity is being generated. So long distance it is called as transmission grid. But finally local whatever the distribution takes place, it is called as distribution grid. Again, that detailed information is not required. Okay, not required. Now here is we need to understand which one are considered as distributed energy resources. Okay, resources. So whether battery storage can be considered as a distributed energy resource? Yes, because it can be it will be present close to the consumption entity. Okay, consumption entity. So it may be generation or it may be storage. Both of them are considered as distributed resources. So in case of battery storage, it's a storage device. It's not a generation device. Okay. Next, coming to fuel cells. It is generation or storage? Generation. Fuel cells will continuously generate the energy, whereas battery will store the energy. So whether the entity which stores energy, can it be called as a distributed energy source? Yes. Okay. So battery will also be called as distributed energy resource. Similarly, fuel cells which generate electricity. Okay. So what kind of reaction takes place in fuel cell? Chemical reaction. Okay. Chemical reaction. Next, rooftop solar photovoltaic units. Obviously. So they are present close to the entity which consumes it. So hence it is considered as part of distributed energy. Now it comes under generator or energy storer? Generation. Okay, generally store what generates the energy. Okay, generates the energy. What do you understand by biomass generators? Okay, biomass is used, means something is burnt and it is energy is generated at the nearby place. Okay, nearby place. Now biomass generator is also considered as part of distributed energy resources. So I have given a few examples, I guess, just to go through it. Now it comes to thermal power plant. So can we call thermal power plant as a distributed energy resource? No. Okay, because wherever something is being consumed close to it, we cannot establish a thermal power plant. So it will be present somewhere else, and from that long distance transmission and then distribution will take place. So nuclear power plant, can it be called as a distributed energy resource? No. When it comes to large hydro power projects, okay, small hydra, yes, it depends. We may call it as distributed energy resources. For example, whatever the energy requirement is there with respect to Bagalkot, if a nearby falls is there, okay, so electricity that is being generated, if it is used only by people of Bagalkot, then we can call it as a distributed energy resource. In case of small hydra, not large hydra. But again, UPSC will not go to that level and confuse us. Okay, we are unnecessarily asking questions to ourselves, but UPSC will not go to that level. Okay, that level. Okay. Next, out of curiosity, I have done again the same revision. When it comes to battery storage, when it comes to battery storage. So how does it work? So we shall take what lithium ion batteries itself. So in lithium ion batteries we have anode and cathode. So during discharge, which ions move from where to where? From anode to cathode during discharge. During the recharge, cathode to anode. So anode is made up of graphite. Next, cathode is made up of nickel. So the country which holds the highest amount of cobalt, lithium, Australia. Nickel. Next, graphite, China. See here, one question we are preparing it from multiple perspective. One is science and technology point of view. Next is geography point of view. Okay. In that fashion, whenever we encounter these things, we'll revise these things. So repeatedly, when we revise, we'll become perfect. Okay. We'll become perfect. Next, fuel cells. Now, probably in environment related note, somewhere I mentioned about fuel cells. Means what is the here in fuel cells also, do we have anode and cathode? Yes, in fuel cells also we have anode and cathode. So here anode is made up of what material and cathode is made up of what material? Okay, what material? So fuel, which is the fuel used here? Hydrogen. What will be the end result? Water and heat. Okay, water vapor and water and heat is the only end product. So again, those things will revise. So rooftop solar photovoltaic units. So here, when it comes to solar photovoltaic, so in case of photovoltaic, first the sun's rays, the heat is converted directly into electricity, or first it is converted into heat and then electricity? Here it is directly into electricity. So another one is solar, what? Thermal power. In that case, the solar sun rays will be used to heat something so that you can store it for a long time. Then that heat can be used for multiple different purposes. Here directly electricity is produced. Okay, electricity is produced. Just go through content. Have I added any extra related things of okay, rooftop solar photovoltaic units. So here there is the third point I mentioned about what? Monocrystalline silicon, polycrystalline silicon, thin film. Okay, in the examination they may ask. So these are the terms associated with what? These are the terms associated with what? Rooftop solar photovoltaic units. Okay, photovoltaic units. Here answer is all four. Okay, so again, this is a very interesting question they asked. So based on this question itself, we shall prepare. Okay, so with reference to radioisotope thermoelectric generators, consider the following statements. Okay, consider the following statements. So based on this question itself, I have compiled. You can just go through the content. So what do we first we need to understand what is radio, what is isotope. So all these things we will be aware. But after a long gap, probably we might have forgotten the meaning of isotope as well. Hence, I started from the basic. If you are already aware of the basic, then you need not go through it. So what do we understand by isotope? Okay. So what is radioactivity? What is radioactivity? Emission of radiations. Okay, here some things will not be able to visualize. Some kind of radiations will come out from some material. That material is called as a radioactive material. Whether all the materials are radioactive? No. There are few materials which are radioactive. Okay, so this basic meaning we need to know. Next, we have started there with isotope. What is an isotope? Same atomic number, different mass number. Okay, so there we consider it consists of protons and electrons or neutrons. Same number of protons or say different number of what is a way to distinguish two isotopes? Whether they have same number of protons or different number of protons or different number of neutrons or electrons. Same number of neutrons. See, we all of us we have learnt it in our high school days. Okay, but now we have forgotten. So at least those basic things again we have to revise before addressing the question. What is the difference between mass number and atomic number? Yes, by electrons. Next, mass number is proton and so the 8th point I have given you, just go through it. You are getting confused. So 8th point, atomic number and mass number. What does mass number indicate? Protons plus neutrons. What does atomic number indicate? Only protons. Okay, protons. Now when you look at this mass number, protons plus neutrons. So one isotope is different from other based on number of protons or neutrons? Neutrons. So see, again the examination they are not going to ask you. So how do you differentiate one isotope from another? So that is beyond. So they assume that already you know about this concept. They assume that already you know about this concept. So we have learnt, but many times we have forgotten about those concepts. We have forgotten. We have to just revise it. Okay, we have to revise it. So next, radioisotope. What do you understand by radioisotope? The material which is radioactive, okay, its isotope is called as radioisotope. Okay, radioisotope. So with reference to radioisotope, thermoelectric generators. So consider the following statements. So what do we understand by thermoelectric generator? Okay, so electricity is being generated because of heat. Okay, heat. Now the question is, RTGs are miniature fission reactors. RTGs are used for powering the onboard systems of spacecrafts. RTGs can use plutonium-238, which is a byproduct of weapons development. Okay, weapons development. So what is fission reaction? Splitting of atoms. In case of fusion, merging. Okay, so which one will generate more energy, fission or fusion? Fusion will generate more energy. So when we speak about nuclear reactors, okay, so generally they work on which, fission or fusion? Fission. Okay, fusion reaction generally takes place in stars, including sun. Okay, including sun. So RTGs are miniature fission reactors. So here itself they mention that thermoelectric generator. It means electricity is being generated because of what? Because of heat, not because of fission reaction. Okay, means sometimes when we have that basic knowledge, we will be able to apply, but that basic knowledge will also come only while going through the question paper, because if you go plain away, if you go through some of the science and technology book, we will not be able to do it. Okay, we will not be able to do it. So here energy is generated, electricity is being generated not because of fission reaction. In nuclear power plant, so electricity is being generated because of what? Because of thermoelectric power? Fission. It is because of fission reaction. But here, with reference to radioisotope thermoelectric generator, consider the following. The first one itself will become wrong. Miniature fission reactors. No, they are not fission reactors. Okay, they are not fission reactors. Now you can just go through the content. Point number 9. Radioisotope thermoelectric generators. RTGs are devices that generate electricity using heat released from radioactive decay. Okay, so hence RTGs are not miniature nuclear fission reactors. See, directly if we jump to the answer, then we will not have an understanding. Next year, if a similar kind of question appears, we will not be able to answer. So at least that basic understanding. So what is a radioisotope? What is the isotope? What is radioactivity? Whether all the elements are radioactive or not. So in this fashion, if we connect, then a proper approach will be built when it comes to science and technology. So one is wrong. So when one is wrong, you will eliminate, you are left with what? Two choice, only one choice, that is 2 and 3. Now, RTGs are used for powering the onboard system of spacecraft. So now we got to know that they are used to power the spacecraft. Okay, spacecraft. Why they are used? I think somewhere I have given an explanation, you can go through it. So RTGs power systems where solar power is ineffective. Point number B. Okay, so deep space spacecraft, planetary probes, satellites, remote instruments. So there they will not receive sufficient quantity of sunlight. Hence, they use what? RTGs. Okay, RTGs. Next, RTGs can use plutonium-238, which is a byproduct of weapons development. So already third one is correct. So plutonium-238. So plutonium in the point C. Okay, point C. Plutonium is a radioactive element, atomic number not important, mostly man-made in nuclear reactors. However, trace amounts occur in naturally in rare geological conditions. Again, that much depth is not important. The one table I have created, just point number D. Major plutonium isotopes. Okay, plutonium isotopes. So here, when it comes to 238, 239, 240, 241, 242. So you just memorize this list. You are able to go through the content? Okay. Now, which one is fissile here? 239, 241. Rest 238, 240 and 242. They are not fissile. Okay, they are not fissile. So here 238, it's not fissile. Okay, it's not fissile. But whether it is radioactive, all the things which have been listed here, all are radioactive. So because of that radiation, heat is generated, and that heat will what? Power the system. Okay, power the system. So based on this PYQ, you need to do all these things. Now what you will do is, you will not go through each and every line here. Okay, just to revise, what is an isotope? What is a radioactive substance? Okay, what is radioisotope? What is thermoelectric generator? Okay, thermoelectric generator. Okay, after that directly we'll come to the table consisting of plutonium. So the plutonium 238 it exists naturally. They have given some traces are found, but generally it does not exist naturally. Then how do we extract plutonium 238? In the nuclear reactor. Okay, in the nuclear reactor. So in India, in the first stage of the nuclear program, so which reactors we are using? Breeder reactors or pressurized heavy water reactors? Okay, in pressurized heavy water reactor, what is the input? Natural uranium, right? What is the percentage of natural uranium in that? 0.7 percentage. Okay, 0.7 percentage. Rest all 99.2 percentage. Which uranium we have? So 0.7 percentage, which we have? U235 or 239 or 238? 235. Now next, as an end result of the first phase, what is the byproduct that we get? Do we get plutonium 238? Okay, means whatever we have learnt there. So all these things should get connected. They should get interconnected. Then you will be able to retain the content for a long period of time. Okay, long period of time. So next, whenever they mention about thermoelectric generator, it means there is no fission and fusion. So because of heat, electricity will get generated. Okay, electricity will get generated. So answer is 2 and 3. Okay. So these kind of questions, again, you will not find the answer in any of the NCERT. But in newspaper, generally once in a while, when they are discussing about space related things, so we come across these terms. Okay, so we come across a term called as giant star and all those things. Okay, all those things, and questions they'll repeat on these topics. Means exactly not on giant star related, but something related to space. So continuously there have been questions. Okay, there have been questions. So giant stars live much longer than dwarf stars. It means there are some stars of large size and some stars of small size. Okay, giant star, dwarf star. Next, first we need to know whether giant stars live much longer than dwarf stars or not. False. If you go through the content, okay, there are compiled, you can go through it. So again, here I have compiled so much of information, you need not go through each and every point. You need not go through each and every point. Whichever point you feel it's interesting, you can go through it. So here, dwarf stars, they will live longer as compared to giant stars. So one is what? Wrong. Compared to dwarf stars, giant stars have a greater rate of nuclear reactions. Okay, so because of the greater rate of nuclear reactions, their lifetime will be short. Okay, so the detailed explanation I have given, but again, you need not go through each and every detailed line of that explanation. What you have to understand here is, so when it comes to giant star and dwarf star, so nuclear reaction will take place in a faster manner in which? Giant star. Because of that, its lifespan will come down. Okay, come down. So that's it. Next, which of the following is synthesized in human body that dilates blood vessels and increases blood flow? Okay, so here to answer this question, again, we need not be a doctor itself, but still out of curiosity, so we are expected to know, or at least once you look at this question paper for the upcoming year, we have to prepare accordingly. Okay, what's the answer here? Nitric oxide. Look at the options, how they are set. So nitric oxide, nitrous oxide, nitrogen pentoxide. Except this option, almost all of them this seem similar, especially for those who are humanities background. So it will be very difficult to connect. Okay, very difficult to connect. But in day-to-day life, when we witness some of the patients, so what all of a sudden they will suffer some kind of stroke and all, and they will insert what do we call it as? Stunt and all. So in that context, okay, basic, if we do a research, okay, research, at least if you have not done all these days, now we'll start doing. So what is it? Nitric oxide. Okay, nitric oxide. So similarly, what I have done is I explored for the other options which they have mentioned there. So nitric oxide, so many things I have mentioned, you need not go through each and every point. In the point number C, I mentioned the drugs that release nitric oxide. Okay, but again, you need not go through this as well, because they are not going to repeat the question. Okay, here in point number F, apart from nitric oxide, which are the other similar kind of vasodilators present? Okay, so nitric oxide, There are a few other chemicals which have been mentioned. Again, it's left to you. If you have time, you'll go through it. Otherwise, you'll give less priority, because the same kind of question is not going to repeat. Okay, it's not going to repeat. And also, they will focus on the important entity, not all the entities. Okay, not all the entities. Next, in the second option, we have nitrous oxide. Okay, so for nitrous oxide, just look at the first line. It's called as laughing gas. So also similar kind of question exists in the past year, probably 1995 to 2000, somewhere we have that question. So which is called as laughing gas? Nitrous oxide. Okay, nitrous oxide. So it's colorless, odorless, that much detail they will not ask. Okay. Medical uses. So are there any benefits of nitrous oxide in the medicine field? Okay, so it is used as an anesthetic. So what you can do, you can mention here. If you are not able to go through each and every line, you just mention here it is anesthetic. Okay, so it's called as laughing gas as well. Laughing gas. Okay, laughing gas. Next, from environment point of view, we also know that nitrous oxide is a greenhouse gas. Okay, so apart from nitrous oxide, there are other greenhouse gases as well, which you are aware. Okay, which are aware. Next, coming to nitrogen dioxide. Nitrogen dioxide. So okay, so it does not have any application in the health field, because it's majorly an environmental pollutant. So it comes to air quality index, right? Air quality index and national ambient air quality standards. There we have seen 8 parameters, and next 8 plus 4, 12 parameters. So there we have what? Nitrogen dioxide. Okay, nitrogen dioxide. So whichever one is a air pollutant, so probably it may not have an application in the medical field. So hence I researched, but I found out that in the point number F I have mentioned, irritates respiratory system, can worsen asthma and lung diseases. Long exposure may reduce lung function. Okay, and explicitly the point number G I have mentioned, unlike nitric oxide and nitrous oxide, nitrogen dioxide has very limited medical use because it is toxic and a strong respiratory irritant. Okay, now I have compiled, does not mean that you have to go to each and every point. Why I am emphasizing this? Because it will waste your time. Now on an average, what is the number of days that we get for every subject? Hardly around 6 days. Okay, 6 to 7 days, including CSAT. Okay, including CSAT. So taking all these practical realities into account, so we need to devote very minimal time. Okay, for these things. Okay, these things. So now we want to note nitric oxide. What vasodilator? Next here, nitrous oxide, anesthetic, laughing gas. Nitrogen dioxide is a pollutant. Finally, nitrogen pentoxide. Oxygen and nitrogen, it's a powerful oxidizing agent with a chemical formula. So it's an oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent. Okay, now we will not go to each and every point. We will only note one thing. It's a powerful oxidizing agent. Okay, now again we will not discuss what is oxidizing agent and all. If you want, you can just explore it later on. But just based on this, at least this basic information, we have to prepare. Okay, we have to prepare. And in 2025, there was in one of the option, as you mentioned about the coal gasification. So there is a link between nitric oxide and one of the options there. Nitroglycerin. Okay, nitroglycerin. Okay. Yes. So consider the following activities: identification of narcotics on passengers at airports or in aircraft, monitoring of precipitation, tracking the migration of animals. Okay. So in how many of the above activities can radars be used? Okay, radars be used. Now here we already know the answer because already we have seen the previous answer keys. But when a similar kind of question appears, it will be often confusing in the examination hall. Okay. So radars, what do radar do? Generally, what is the application of radar? Okay, so radar generally in case of military application, so it will just estimate the distance of the other aircrafts which are flying. Okay, so this is a major application of radar. But apart from that, it can also be used for other purposes as well. Now you just go through that content, you will understand. So applications of radar. Okay, first is it uses which waves? It waves radio waves. Okay, radio waves. So in meteorology, so whether it has an application? Yes, to check the amount of precipitation, yes, we can use radar. Okay, we can use radar. Next, wildlife and ecology. So Tracking the migration of animals, there also we can use. Next, third one, air traffic control. Next, marine navigation, military surveillance, okay, speed detection, remote sensing. So these are the various aspects for which we can use what? Radar. So what radar cannot do? I also explicitly mentioned there. Okay. So cannot identify narcotics on passengers at airports or aircraft. Why it is so? Because narcotics means some kind of chemical is used. It cannot detect that chemical. Okay, it cannot detect the chemical. There in the third point, what radars cannot do? In the third point I have mentioned, technologies used for narcotics detection instead include which are the technologies? X-ray scanners. Okay, so sniffer dogs are they can be used. So here the first one, identification of narcotics on passengers, it is not possible because it involves what? Identification of the chemical. Okay, chemical. So hence 1 is false, 2 and 3 are correct. So here same kind of question will not repeat, but still if a similar thematic based question if it appears, at least based on this basic information we should be able to answer. Okay, answer. So now same the question they may twist like this. Now whether radar can be used to identify the harmful substances present in the food, in the street food? No. Okay. So can it identify the people who are consuming the street food? Whether the entity is just standing, either they're animals or human beings, can it identify? Yes, it can do. So these kind of examples we shall just try to compile few examples and retain these things. See, in 2024 also they asked a question. In 2025 slightly it's a different version. In 2025 what kind of questions we saw? Aircrafts, okay, fighter aircrafts, and next one which is used for transport purpose and all. So here in 2024 they asked about these, which are considered as 5th generation fighter aircraft. So among these three, almost all of them they appear in the newspaper. It's not that completely new. Now in the previous questions we saw about the AI summit and all, they are very difficult questions. But these things they repeatedly appear. Okay, they repeatedly appear. But the level of information which they are expecting, that kind of information will not be present in newspaper. So one fighter aircraft which was repeatedly in news was Rafale, because India purchased these Rafale from France, and continuously there was an allegation from opposition that some kind of corruption has taken place. Okay, so in that context Rafale used to appear, and they used to mention about the Rafale's generation, which generation it belongs to. It belongs to 4.5 generation. Okay, in India there is no aircraft which is of 5th generation. Okay, it's true. So when you understand this, that there is no aircraft in India which is of 5th generation, then automatically you come to a conclusion what? It's none. Okay, it's none. So there are no 5th generation aircrafts in India. Then out of curiosity you will search. So which are the countries which host the 5th generation aircrafts? So which are they? I compiled the material, please go through it. 5th generation fighter crafts. So Russia, Sukhoi Su-57. Next, Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning. So again these they appear in the newspaper. Even though they belong to other country, but they do appear in the newspaper. So as you have not gone through the current affairs, at least we should be aware of these things. Then we will be able to answer similar kind of questions. Okay. Next, Chengdu J-20 of China. So China has, see, the India's neighbor has a 5th generation aircraft. Next, USA, the famous country, has a 5th generation aircraft. Russia has 5th generation aircraft. Now what happens? Human brain is very complex. Once it understands about few things, then it wants to explore more. How about Japan? How about UK? How about Australia? So in the context of these military applications, we will not go for other countries. We'll stop here itself. We'll focus on Russia, we'll focus on USA, we'll focus on what? China. Okay. After going through all these things, if you have time, then you can go for other countries. We shall stop here itself. Okay, we shall stop here itself. Okay. 5th generation fighter aircraft. So some features of 5th generation are mentioned in point number 20, but not important. They are not going to ask you what are the features of 5th generation I mentioned, but you need not go through it. You'll just ignore it. Okay. So same things are repeated. Only 3 countries currently operate indigenous 5th generation what fighters. Now apart from these 3 countries, so whether other countries also have these or they do not have? They have, but they are not indigenously developed. They have what? Imported or they are purchased from other countries. So which are the countries are listed there? UK, Italy, Netherlands, Norway. So here also you need not go through each and every list. Here you have to find out whether India has purchased or not. So India has not yet purchased 5th generation what? Fighter aircrafts. Okay, fighter aircrafts. Next, similarly, the famous country. Now presently war is going on, Israel and Iran. So whether Israel has 5th generation aircraft? Yes. Whether Israel has indigenously developed? No. Next, which are the other countries that you can look into? Japan, another major company or country of Asia. Japan also has fifth generation aircraft, but it has purchased. It has not been indigenously built. So all the other countries, you'll just UK you can take because it's one of the permanent P5 country. Okay, permanent 5 country of the UN. So it also has fifth generation, but not indigenously developed. Or you can focus in from this perspective. Among the P5 countries of UN, which all have indigenously developed the fifth generation aircraft? USA, Russia, China. Which are the other 2 countries left out? UK and France. How about France? Whether France has a fifth generation aircraft? Okay, here I have not mentioned. Just search it because as this question we have raised, whether France has fifth generation aircraft, just check it once. Because we have taken Rafale from France. So why France has not yet built the fifth generation? So that will be the question.
No, sir.
No?
Currently not.
Not. So once we verify, then what we can do? We can easily move to the next part. Okay, next part. Okay. Now already these questions have appeared. So Rafale is a fighter aircraft.
Yes, sir.
How about MiG-29? How about Tejas Mk1? Fighter. So already question has appeared in 2025. So next time when we go through this content, so those things we have to recall and according to what update the content. Okay, MiG-29, which generation it is? 4th generation. How about Tejas Mk1? That is also 4th generation. So whether Rafale is the only 4.5 generation aircraft in India or also there are others? Tejas Mk1? 4.5? Okay, which are the only 2? Sukhoi 30? Okay, good. Next. MiG-29 also. So here in page point number 22 I have mentioned. You can just go through it. In 24th one table I have given, right? Okay. So here it is. I have not mentioned about the which generation here. Okay, all of them are 4.5 generation, right? So Rafale, Tejas, Sukhoi, MiG-29. Okay, so all of these are 4.5 generation. Okay, 4.5 generation. Okay, see, I compiled material. Compiling material is easy, but when you are going through it, I will urge you, be very much cautious, very judicious. Don't go through each and every line. Okay, don't go through each and every line. Okay. So, in which of the following are hydrogels used? Controlled drug delivery in patients, mobile air conditioning systems, preparation of what? Industrial lubricants. Okay, lubricants. So, here officially what is the answer? I think it's 1, 2 and 3. Okay. So, hydrogels are soft elastic materials that are a mixture of water and a 3-dimensional network of polymers. So, probably you might have seen hydrogels, right? There are even in local shops also we'll get. So, can you call them as hydrogels? So if you add some water, so its volume will increase. Okay, you can just look at the image of a hydrogel. What is a hydrogel? Again, there may be different varieties of hydrogels as well. Okay, hydrogels as well. So here they can be used for what? Controlled drug delivery in patients, mobile air conditioning systems, as well as industrial lubricants. So in the notes I have mentioned about the areas of application. So medical and biomedical application, pharmaceutical applications, personal care and hygiene products, agriculture, industrial applications, environmental applications, cooling and climate systems, food industry, electronics and advanced materials. So if you look here, in many of the fields it has application. So here you will not go through each and every list and try to retain. So whenever a question related to hydrogel, okay, hydrogel comes, now the chances are very less that it will repeat, but here it will be a generic stand. It means all the applications which they have mentioned, so probably it will have its application in every field. Okay, every field. So such kind of generic approach we need to have. And also these things will mark not in the first round, in the third round. Okay, the third round. Okay, which of the following is the exhaust pipe emission from fuel cell electric vehicles powered by hydrogen? Okay, see here, the question in 2013 or 14 also they have asked a similar kind of question. Okay, almost slight change they have made, but when a pure hydrogen is used in a fuel cell, so what is the output? heat and water. In that fashion, they asked a question in 2013 or 14. So it's almost similar to that question. It means among all the questions, there are few questions which we can easily attempt even if you have gone through the previous year questions. So this is one among them. Okay, one among them. So what will be the answer? It's water vapor. Next, out of curiosity, I have added what is hydrogen peroxide, where it is used, hydronium and oxygen. It's generic. Just go through it. Have I added it or not? Just go through it. Point number 29. Okay. So hydrogen peroxide, why it is used? It is used as a disinfectant, bleaching agent and stain remover. It's a mild antiseptic used on the skin to prevent infection of minor cuts, scrapes and burns. So whenever they are doing this initial treatment, so they use hydrogen peroxide? White color? Okay. So then it will help us to retain the information very easily. Okay. So hydrogen peroxide. Next, hydronium. Where is hydronium used? Have I mentioned? 33. So it's a chemical ion that is used to measure the pH of a solution and is involved in chemical reactions. Okay. It is used in some industrial and agricultural applications. So again, you will not go through each and every line. So it is used to measure the pH of a solution. That's it. So it's used to measure pH of a solution. Okay. Okay. So recently, term pumped storage hydropower is actually and appropriately discussed in the context of which of one of the following. Okay. So first time when they see this question, it will be confusing, but now we have complete clarity. So what is used for? Long duration energy storage. So here in case of pumped storage hydropower, what happens? There will be two tanks, one tank here. Okay. One tank will be located at the higher elevation. Now, how is electricity generated? When the water falls, so here we have a turbine. So water falls on turbine will rotate, electricity will be generated. Okay, this is a simple formula. Now, for this turbine to rotate, water should fall. Okay, water should fall. Now, the quantity of water, let's assume it's very less here. Okay, so in case of pumped storage hydropower, what happens? So during daytime, let's assume daytime or any other time. So when water is there, when it falls on this turbine, somewhere the water will fall down. Here there will be another tank. Okay, another tank. So when you do not require electricity, for example, electricity we require more during daytime and less during night time. So during night time, what you will do? By using the electricity, whatever the water is there, you will pump it back to this tank. So again during daytime, the same water will fall and again electricity will get generated. So this is called as what? Pumped storage hydropower. Okay, pumped storage hydropower. So it is again something similar to what? Our batteries. How do they work? From anode to cathode, movement of ions. So discharge. From cathode to anode, charging. So similarly it works here. So that is called as pumped storage hydropower. So long duration energy storage. Okay, long duration energy storage. So apart from this, which are the other techniques I listed there? You just go through it. Which point? Okay. In point number 36, see here, the detailed explanation I have given. You will not go through detailed explanation. You will go through the detailed explanation only after May 24th. Until then, you understood the concept. You will just stop there itself. So next in point number 37, I have mentioned long-term energy storage technologies. Point number 37. The first one is pumped hydro storage. Second one is compressed air energy storage. Third one is hydrogen energy storage. Next, stacked blocks, flywheel energy storage, superconducting magnetic energy, thermal energy storage, redox flow batteries. Okay. Now, when you have time, you will go through each of them and you will try to understand. For example, how is compressed air energy storage different from pumped hydro storage? Okay, so this is for a person who is pursuing his PG in chemistry. For him it is important. But here, being a generalist, will not go through the content. Next year, maximum what they can frame, compressed air storage. This is associated with what? Long term energy storage. You will just focus on the headline. Okay, even if you are not able to connect also, it is okay, but you will not go through each and every line, because based on question paper we have just done this exploration exercise. What kind of questions they are going to frame, we are not aware. Okay, we are not aware, so we will not go through each and every detailed explanation. So this detailed explanation will be beneficial only after examination. Until then we will not go through this detailed explanation. Okay, we will not go through this detailed explanation. Okay, next, based on this question itself, so irrigation of terraced crop fields, so something related to what? Agriculture. So what is terraced crop field? So during discussion of agriculture we have seen, right? So where do we use this terraced crop fields? Mountainous region, so where multiple terraces are created. So irrigation of terraced crop fields, so here 38, I am just looking into if there is any important word associated with it. Okay, point number C, directly go to point number C. So contour terracing, bench terracing, broad base terracing, narrow base terracing, what? Raised bed terracing. Okay, so here among these important one is contour. Already it has appeared once. It is also present in NCERT. It also appears in the newspaper. So contour type of farming is practiced in which region? Plain, plateau, mountains. Mountains. That's it. Okay. Here again we will not go to each and every line. We will directly go to contour. Okay, contour. So again, advantages when we go for this kind of irrigation. What are the advantages? That advantage, point number D, is important. Prevents soil erosion, improves water conservation. Okay, allows farming in mountainous regions, reduces landslide risk. Okay, enhances crop productivity. So among that, the point number D is important. Point number D is important. Commonly grown crops and all not important. Okay, not important. So here the third one, lift irrigation of cereal crops. So we need to understand what is lift irrigation. We need to understand what is lift irrigation. So there are given 39th point, lift irrigation. So it's a method of irrigation in which water is lifted from a lower level to a higher level using mechanical devices instead of flowing naturally by gravity as in canal irrigation. So if you look at canal, okay, so canal is connected to river, from the river directly the water starts flowing into canal. But in case of lift irrigation, mechanical devices like motors, so they have to lift the water and then they have to distribute the water. Okay, distribute the water. So this definition will be sufficient. So lift irrigation of cereal crops, you just remove the cereal crops. So lift irrigation can be used for every kind of crop. It can be used for every kind of crop, not only cereals. It can be used for pulses, it can be used for what? Oilseeds, everything, even commercial crops as well. Next, rainwater harvesting system. So this is a bit important from UPSC point of view. Especially UPSC focuses on the traditional rainwater harvesting systems that exist in India. So generally we get these things in the history book, but few of the important which I was able to compile, I compiled here. Which is that? Yes. Okay, point number 40. Okay, 40. Here this list I will urge you to go through it once, because from history point of view, from ancient and medieval history point of view also it will be beneficial. So you just go through this list. For example, if I ask Khadin Kund Tanka, so these are very easy names, easily we can connect. Tanka we can connect. So just go through that list. Okay, so these are associated with what? Rainwater harvesting systems. Okay, rainwater harvesting systems. So which state and all, that level of information is actually not required. And the third column, main feature is also not important. Now here you don't worry about state also, you just focus on what are they. So if they give these names, you should be able to identify that they are what? Traditional water harvesting system. Okay, rainwater harvesting system. Okay, so membrane bioreactors are often discussed in the context of, okay, so UPSC often focuses on these bio kind of things, bioreactors, next bioenergy, and next bioremediation. Okay, so especially in the context of what? Cleaning the environment. So we have discussed many other things. For example, bioremediation we have discussed. Okay, so similarly here they asked about bioreactors. So first we need to understand what are bio. What is bio? Anything which has life. So reactor. Okay, so the reactor function is being performed by a living organism. Okay, living organism. So probably I started with the basic definition itself. So it's an advanced wastewater treatment technology that combines. Okay, so one we know that it's a wastewater treatment technology. Okay, technology. So biological treatment, bioreactor with microorganisms. Here microorganisms are there, so that will help to clean the what wastewater. Okay, basic principle. Again, you need not go through each and everything. Okay, so in the point number C, so components of this I have mentioned, again not important. Okay, what are the organisms that can be used in membrane bioreactors? I mentioned C in the point number D. Which are the organisms? Bacteria can be used, protozoa can be used, yeast can be used, mammalia, plant cells. How about virus? No. Okay, virus cannot be used as a bioreactor, membrane bioreactor. Okay, membrane bioreactor. Okay, so types of bioreactors based on oxygen conditions. Some bioreactors are aerobic in the presence of oxygen. Some are anaerobic in the absence of oxygen. Okay, so where all they can be used? Point number I, applications. They can be used in municipal sewage treatment, so industrial wastewater treatment, water reuse and recycling, food processing, and so on. Okay, so here you will not go through each and every line. What you understood? Bioreactors. Okay, so which are the organisms used in bioreactors? Famous is bacteria, yeast, protozoa. Okay, protozoa. Next, apart from these membrane bioreactors, for the treatment of wastewater, what are the other technologies involved? So you can go through what? Point number 42. Activated sludge process. So this is one wastewater treatment process. Second one is membrane bioreactor. Third one is moving bed biofilm reactor. See here in the upcoming year, again if they focus on the cleaning of water, they may ask about what? Moving bed biofilm reactor. Okay. Next, trickling filter. Next, biodisc rotating biological contactor. Biofilters. Okay, biofilters. Now what you will do? You will not go through each and every line. So apart from membrane bioreactors, which are the other technologies that can be used in the treatment of wastewater? First one is yes, activated sludge process. Next is membrane bioreactor, moving bed biofilm reactor, trickling filter, rotating biological contactor, biofilters. Okay, biofilters. So here in this context, if you have more time, I'll urge you to go through the content as well. Because sometimes directly, rather than asking question like this, in what way it processes it, they may go to that level. So here, if time permits, you also go to the next level. Means how exactly this moving bed biofilm reactor works. At least 1 or 2 lines. Okay, that would be beneficial. Okay. Next, assisted reproductive technologies. So again, very important. UPSC, if you look at the previous year question papers and all, so they are asked on assisted reproductive technologies. So few of the entities associated with assisted reproductive technologies I have mentioned here. So point number 43. So here, assisted reproductive technology, medical techniques used to treat infertility by handling gametes or embryos outside the human body. So India regulates through ART Regulation Act 2021. So here we need to know about the terms called as in vitro fertilization. What is in vitro fertilization? Outside the human body in the laboratory. Okay, that basic term, that terminology we have to understand. So that this detailed line by line information is not important. So fertilization of egg and sperm outside the body in a laboratory dish. So resulting embryo, it is transferred to the uterus. So after a very long gap, sometimes it will be difficult for us to connect. Okay, for example, sperm and egg. Okay, so initially first time when they interact, so it will be formed as a zygote. So zygote is a single cell or multiple cells? Single cell. When single cell will become multiple cell, it will become an embryo. Okay. After that, it will become fetus. Okay. We don't have to have an exact information. Just superficial information would be sufficient. So when both of them they club together, it will form a zygote. After that, embryo. After that, after few days, it will become fetus. Okay, fetus. So once the embryo is created in the in vitro through in vitro fertilization, so then it will be attached to what? Transfer to uterus. Okay, uterus. So this is basic information. So commonly known as test tube technique, test tube baby technique, just leave it. So when it is used, steps not important. So steps and all, they are not important. Okay. Next point number D, intrauterine insemination. So it is one of the technique associated with assisted reproductive technology. So in the examination, if they ask what is intrauterine insemination, so processed sperm is directly placed into the uterus during this detailed information not important. Intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Again, this is a technology associated with what? Assisted reproductive technology. Frozen embryo transfer, again associated with that. So gamete not important, zygote not important, donation, embryo donation, gestation carrier, position. Okay. So this point number M is bit important. Just go through point number M. What is the point number M? Okay. Cryopreservation, freezing of reproductive material for future use. Okay. So I heard that there are few banks. Okay. So sperm banks and all. So where you can freeze them, you can store them, and you can use it later on. So that term is important. So cryopreservation means, so in the examination they may confuse us. So cryopreservation is a term which appears in the context of, okay, so ISRO's space mission reproductive systems. So in this fashion, if they use, we should be able to what connect it to assisted reproductive technology related term. Okay, related term. See, when you start going through the content, it will seem very interesting, and sometimes we'll be lost. That should not happen here because time is very short. Okay, so we should not get lost. Even if you are not able to understand completely, you'll memorize it, but you will not go in detail. Okay, whatever the superficial aspect you are able to what comprehend, you will just take that information and you will move forward. Okay, move forward. Okay. So drug delivery nanotechnologies. Point number 44 I have added. So drug delivery nanotechnologies and associated terms. Okay. So here detailed application not important, just in the 44th point, 44, 45, 46, so all of them they deal with the same. Okay, they deal with the same, but we will not go through each of them. What we will do? So liposomes, dendrimers, quantum dots, polymer drug conjugates, nanogels, how do we pronounce it? Michaelis or Micelis? Micelis, nanocrystals. So these are terms associated with what? Drug delivery nanotechnologies. Okay. So the next point number 45, you will not go through it. Point number 46, now you will not go through it. Okay. So after May 24th, when we are preparing for NEET examination, at that time probably you may go through it. It's NEET examination, PG NEET. NEET, we call it as NEET or UG for PG? No, for that also we call it as a NEET examination itself. Okay. Okay, no, so again one more we missed here. What did we miss? Vaccine production technologies. Okay, because nowadays they are focusing more on vaccines. So I made detailed notes on what? Vaccine production. So here you can go through this vaccine production technologies. So vaccine production technologies and associated terms, what point number 47. So live attenuated vaccines, inactivated vaccines, subunit recombinant and conjugate vaccines, mRNA vaccines, viral vector vaccines, DNA vaccines. So things which we already know, we will not discuss in detail. So live attenuated vaccine. What happens in live attenuated vaccine? Yes. So whether, for example, in case of COVID-19, vaccine, which was the vaccine which used live attenuated virus? COVID shield. So which virus did they use? No, here they will not use adenovirus. The original virus itself they will use. COVID-19 virus itself, they will weaken it and then they will administer. They will inject it. Okay, they will inject it. So this is the first case. Second case, inactivated vaccine. The virus has been killed and then it has been sent inside. So which is the vaccine? Covaxin. Now here which killed virus they have used? Adenovirus. Okay, adenovirus. So this adenovirus they have taken from which animal? Means this adenovirus generally it impacts whom? Okay, chimpanzees, monkeys, so chimpanzees, right? So the virus which impacts the chimpanzee, that adenovirus has been taken and out of it they have built Covaxin. Okay, Covaxin. So this is about the second case. Inactivated vaccine. Next, okay, subunit vaccine, recombinant vaccine and conjugate vaccine. So what are these vaccines? At least at the superficial level we need to understand. So just go through subunit vaccine, subunit, recombinant and conjugate vaccines. C. Okay. Okay. Now, just we will take a simple example. If we take COVID-19 itself, okay, COVID-19, if this is a virus, if this is a virus, so let's assume this virus has multiple antigens. Okay. So among these multiple antigens, this is one antigen which will cause problem. This is one antigen which will cause problem. So our body, it will generate antibodies to whom? This antigen. So there are antigen 1, antigen 2, antigen 3, antigen 4 and so on. Our body will generate antibodies only against this antigen 1. Okay, antigen 1. Now, but in case of inactivated vaccine and attenuated vaccine, so whether the whole virus is sent or only some part of it is sent? The whole virus is sent. The whole virus is sent inside the body. Either in the killed form, we call it as inactivated, or attenuated, that is weakened form. Okay, weakened form. In case of subunit vaccine, what we'll do, rather than sending the whole virus, we'll send only this part. We'll send only this part. This is called as subunit vaccine. So here in point number C, second point, subunit vaccines. So contain specific proteins or antigenic fragments of the pathogen. Okay, pathogen. So example, yes, example also important. Whether hepatitis B vaccine is an example of a subunit vaccine. Okay, vaccine. Next, recombinant vaccines. What are recombinant vaccines? Produced using genetic engineering techniques. The gene editing an antigen is inserted into organisms such as yeast or bacteria which produce the antigen protein. Example, human papillovirus vaccine. Okay, so here in case of recombinant vaccine, for example, this virus has some feature, another virus has some feature. So both the features, they will be merged together. Okay, merged together, and then entire thing will be injected into the body. So features of two different organisms will be clubbed together. Hence, it is called as recombinant. Okay, recombinant. Here again, we will not go into detail. In case of live attenuated vaccine, okay, do we use features of multiple different organisms? No, single organism. In case of subunit, one specific unit, one specific antigen will be used. In case of recombinant, so features of multiple different organisms will be clubbed together so that the immune system can be properly triggered. Okay, triggered. Okay, third one, we have conjugate vaccine there. Used mainly against bacteria with polysaccharide outer coatings. The polysaccharide antigen is linked to a carrier protein to enhance immune response. Okay, immune response. So here, conjugate vaccines generally they are used against bacteria. Okay, this much we shall understand. The detailed explanation also given here somewhere. Okay, so conjugate vaccine very often require adjuvants and booster doses, contain only selected antigen parts of pathogen. Otherwise, we shall leave it at the superficial level. We will not go there. So recombinant vaccines means different features of different species have been clubbed together. Okay, so conjugate vaccine mainly they are used against what? Bacteria. Okay, bacteria. Next, mRNA vaccines. These are important because mRNA vaccine repeatedly they appear in the newspaper, and also in the recent years, Nobel Prize was also given to a person who introduced this mRNA system. Okay, so when it comes to what DNA and RNA, again we will not go into deeper aspects. So what is the full form of DNA? Deoxyribonucleic acid, RNA. Okay, now all our genetic information is present in DNA. Then what does RNA do? Okay, so somewhere I mentioned, I'll just okay. So when we say antibodies, so what are these antibodies? Means whether they are vitamins or whether they are proteins. They are proteins. Okay. So who will produce these proteins? Yes. So again, there is a lot of technical things. So ribosomes will produce these proteins. Okay. But again, that technical information is not required. Ribosomes will produce the proteins. But how will ribosome come to know that we have to produce a particular kind of protein? So someone will deliver the message. Who will deliver the message? RNA. Okay. RNA will deliver the message. So in case of mRNA vaccines, what happens is, so mRNA is a messenger RNA. It will tell ribosome what kind of antibodies you have to produce. So in case of mRNA vaccine, you will teach the system how to work. Explicitly, you are not going to trigger by giving some kind of virus or virus parts. Okay. In this fashion, mRNA technique is slightly differs from the traditional technique. So here we will teach the cell how to behave. Okay, how to behave. So that is mRNA vaccine related things. Okay. So the last, just go through quick comparison. Live attenuated, live weakened pathogen, inactivated, killed pathogen, subunit, specific antigen fragments, recombinant means different types of features have been clubbed together. Conjugate vaccine, mRNA, genetic instructions to produce antigen. Viral, okay, this viral vector, this is important. So have I mentioned about viral vector vaccines? Okay. So viral vector vaccines, vaccines that use a modified harmless virus to deliver genetic material encoding a pathogen or antigen. So in the vaccines which we discussed, one is Covaxin and another one is COVID shield. So is there any one of these vaccines called the viral vector vaccine? Which is a viral vector vaccine? COVID shield or Covaxin? COVID shield. So which was the vector used? Which was the vector used? Vector means someone should take the material inside. Okay, so just search it once. So which was the vector used in COVID shield? Or if the vector is not used in COVID shield, if it is used in Covaxin, which was the vector used? Or first search which among Covaxin and COVID shield was called as a vector vaccine?
COVID shield uses modified chimpanzee adenovirus vectors.
Adenovirus vector. Okay, so that you will what mention. So it will use what adenovirus as a vector. Okay, as a vector to trigger the immune system.
There is a pneumococcal vaccine ಅಂತ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, conjugate vaccine ಅದು ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ನಾಗ ಭಾಳ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದು HPV vaccine ಭಾಳ.
It was there more in the newspaper. HPV vaccine and pneumococcal conjugate vaccine. Okay, what you can do is explicitly you can mention there. Later on, some more points you can add related to HPV and pneumococcal conjugate vaccine. Okay, pneumococcal conjugate vaccine and one more is
HPV.
human papillovirus vaccine. Okay, so you can prepare extra things related to these vaccines. Okay, specifically means what do they target, why are they used and all we can prepare. Okay, we can prepare. So to what level they will go, again it depends. So in the examination maximum what they can ask, so mRNA, attenuated, inactivated, these are the terms which appear in the context of vaccine production technologies. Okay, that's it. Okay, so which of the following materials can be used as a feedstock for producing sustainable aviation fuel? Agriculture residues, corn grain, wastewater treatment, sludge, wood mill waste. Okay, wood mill waste. Here you don't go for a thought process, means don't think more. Directly you mark it as what 1, 2, 3 and 4. Even if it goes wrong also it is okay, but you will not think more. If you think, then again we'll get trapped. Okay, we'll get trapped. It's 1, 2, 3 and 4. So which one of the following phrases is most appropriately used to denote an interoperable network of 3D virtual worlds that can be accessed simultaneously by millions of users who can exert property rights over virtual items? Okay, so what's the answer here? Metaverse. Now just don't try to explore much about this, just based on previous year question, it is metaverse, that's it. Okay, so big data analytics. So based on this word itself you should be able to understand big data analytics. So can you give me an example of what is big data? Okay, large amount of data. For example, social media. Okay, there are what millions of accounts. So, and for each of these account holder, there is so much of information. So when you are trying to analyze that data, so normal computer or normal processing will not be sufficient. So to process such a big data, we require different kind of what processing capabilities. So when you are processing such a large amount of data, we call it as big data. Okay, big data. Next, cryptocurrency. Already we know which are the famous cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin. Okay, next. Which one? Ethereum. Okay. So this cryptocurrency works on which technology?
Blockchain.
Okay, it works on blockchain. So blockchain is centralized or decentralized? Decentralized. Okay, blockchain is decentralized. Next, some other keywords associated with cryptocurrency or blockchain. Immutable. Very important word is immutable. So once a transaction takes place, you cannot change it. You cannot reverse it. You cannot reverse it. So these are associated with what? Blockchain. So blockchain has its application only in cryptocurrency. Okay. So whether India has any cryptocurrency presently, which has whether cryptocurrency has been officially recognized by Indian government? No. So whether central bank digital rupee can be called as a cryptocurrency? CBDR? No. Okay. So just see whether I listed any technology related with big data. Metaverse are included.
52, sir.
52. 52. So 52 you ignore, 51 and 52 ignore, directly come to 53. Major technologies used in big data analytics. Okay, so this is important. Okay, Hadoop ecosystem, Apache Spark. So third, data mining tools is very generic. Machine learning algorithms. Okay, so here the first and second are very important. Hadoop ecosystem and Apache Spark. So these are the technologies associated with big data. Okay, big data. That's it. Then the rest 52 and 51 you'll just ignore it. Next 54 types of big data analytics, not important. Next point number E, applications. So big data has its application in every field, whichever field they mention. So big data has its application. You will not specifically go through it. So you ignore completely that data. Cryptocurrency, okay. Cryptocurrency, cryptography, plain text encryption, ciphertext decryption, types of cryptography. So symmetric key. So something when a term comes called as key. Public key, private key, cryptography. Okay, so all these are associated with what? Actually, communication system, not exactly here. So again, you need not ought to understand these things. So these are again very basic. So what do you understand by encryption here? Okay, so someone when he reads that data, he should not understand. Okay, so that is called as encryption. Decryption is reading it. So in communication system, so see again they are not going to ask. For example, if A is there, A, B, C. So someone will write it as 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So in the end system they will be knowing. So that they are being mapped with what? Numbers. Okay, numbers. So this is one way of encryption. So whenever I want to send A, rather than sending it as A, what I will do? I will send C. B means C, D, E. Next C means D, E, F. So in between someone accesses this message C, E, F, they will not understand. But the end user knows the key. What is the key? Subtract each letter by 2. Okay, so that is decryption. So in case of communication, we use these technologies. Okay, encryption and decryption. Encryption, decryption. So symmetric key, cryptography. In one of the question papers, they have mentioned about so public key and private key. So where do we come across these? So the terms public key and private key we come across in the context of communication. Okay, communication technologies. Okay. So computer science background students, they are very much aware because it's part of the syllabus. But those who are from other background, it will be difficult. So to put it a very simple example, now you want to send someone a message. Okay, you cannot send it explicitly, but because if someone accesses it, they'll get to know what you are communicating. So rather than that, what you will do? You will send 143. Okay, so probably they may not understand, but this is a very common word. Each one of us might understand. So rather than this, we will what? Make a encryption different way. For I, so what is the corresponding what number associated with I? Yes, 9. So 9. Next L? 13. Okay, 13. So 913. So in this fashion, that encryption will take place. Encryption and decryption, but not specifically associated with cryptography. In general, these encryption and decryption, they are associated with what? Communication. Okay, communication. So virtual matrix, you just leave it, not important. You just ignore the data. So the content is repeated here. Okay. So some things are repeated here, right? Yes. No, in the notes, whatever we discussed initially, right? The same thing is repeated here. The same content is repeated in the notes.
ಇದು ನಿನ್ನೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್ 25 ನಿನ್ನೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ.
Oh, sorry, correct. Now I have to go to okay in the PDF form, no. So it means we have completed
24.
Okay, we have completed 24. Now we have to come to what? 2023. Twenty 23. Which is the point number? Okay. Yes. 56, right? This one, right? Yes. No, corresponding to this, so in which we have this content in the notes? Okay. Actually, the numbering is slight mistake. Science and technology, PYQ based 2023. So here 56th point is there, right? Carbon fibers. Okay. In the next line we have accelerometer. Okay, accelerometer. Okay. So consider the following actions. In how many of the above actions is the function of accelerometer required? Okay. It's actually a tough question. If you are not aware, it's a very tough question. But those who are aware, because when I was working in a company, I was working on this device itself, this feature, accelerometer. Okay, hence I was slightly aware of it. But generally, if you have never heard about this term, then it will be very difficult. So how does the accelerometer work? So for example, this is a device. So when I was working in a company called as Mindtree, so there initially in 2011 we had built an application. So the application was to check whether the surface is flat or not. So how it will work? A bubble will be there. So if the bubble comes to the center, it means the surface is flat. Okay. If the bubble moves here and there, it means it is slightly tilted. So to build that application, almost I took 1 month of time. So now we have so many thousands of such applications. But in 2011, when Android was just evolving, so I was working on Android itself. So at that time, we had used a feature called as what? Accelerometer. Okay. So based on accelerometer itself, we used to know the tilting of the mobile phone. So based on that application also, it will be difficult to answer this question. Okay. So detection of tilt of smartphone, which results in the rotation of physical display between portrait and landscape. So between landscape and portrait, our mobile screen rotates. It's because of accelerometer. Okay, accelerometer. Similarly, detection of accidental free fall of laptop towards the ground, which results in the immediate turning off of the hard drive. So if a laptop falls, then the hard drive might get damaged. Okay, hence when it is falling, when it is freely falling, it will rotate, it will change its direction. Because of that, the accelerometer will understand that something what harmful thing is happening, and automatically it will switch off it. Okay. Switch off the hard drive. Detection of car collision, which results in the deployment of airbags almost instantaneously. So when the car hits, so it will change the direction. So because of that, accelerometer will get activated and the airbags will open. Okay, open. But it's a tough question. Okay. So if they ask a similar kind of feature in the upcoming year, so if you are completely unaware, you will leave that question. Okay, you leave that question because we are not will not be able to answer all the questions. There are few questions we will definitely leave it, and we are not going to build any kind of strategy here. And based on this, we are also not going to search like which are the other similar kind of technologies used in mobile apart from accelerometer. We will not do that exercise. We'll stop here itself. Okay, we'll stop here itself. Okay. With reference to the role of biofilters in recirculating aquaculture system, consider the following statements. So in 2024 also there was a question related to what? Bioreactors, okay, something which is associated with cleaning of the water. Okay, it is also something similar to what this aquatic ecosystem and how does it perform. Hence I mentioned there, rather than just focusing on the names, you'll go to the next level, means what is the mechanism you involved in the cleaning process. Okay, in the cleaning process. So with reference to the role of biofilters in recirculating aquaculture, consider the following statements. So what are biofilters? A living organism which performs the role of a filter. Okay, filter. So here biofilters increase phosphorus as nutrient for fish in the water. Biofilters convert ammonia present in fish water waste to nitrate. Biofilters provide waste treatment by removing uneaten fish feed. Okay, fish feed. So what is the official answer key? Just check it once.
Only two.
Only two. Which are the two? Okay, here I mentioned phosphorus effect on phosphorus. Biofilters do not significantly increase phosphorus in water.
First one is correct.
Third one is, second one is correct. Biofilters convert ammonia present in the fish waste to nitrate. So here few things I have added. You can just go through it. What is it? Okay. So here in point number 60, point number 60. So third point, conversion of ammonia to nitrate. Conversion of ammonia to nitrate. So here that process is called as nitrification. Biofilters provide a surface for nitrifying bacteria which detoxify nitrogen waste. Steps in nitrification: ammonia oxidation, nitrate oxidation. Next, importance: ammonia and nitrite are highly toxic to fish. So this content is important. In this content, what you will write? Biofilters convert ammonia present in the fish waste to nitrate. Okay, it is playing an important role because what is harmful to fish?
Ammonia and nitrite.
Ammonia and nitrite. See here, nitrite, nitrate. There's a difference. Nitrite, nitrate. So when compared to ammonia and nitrite, so nitrate is less harmful. Nitrate is less harmful. So here the biofilters, what they will do? They will convert ammonia present in the fish waste to nitrate. It means toxic waste will be converted into less toxic, okay, or less harmful, okay, less harmful. So this is the important point associated with this question. This is a very important point associated with this question. So as it plays an important role in conversion of ammonia to what? Nitrate. So increases phosphorus as nutrient for fish. It does not have any role in this. Okay, does not have any role in this. Okay, so here when it comes to biofilters, the role is to convert harmful substances, toxic substances, that is ammonia, okay, into nitrate, because nitrate is less harmful. So in this fashion, biofilters do not have any role in the context of increasing phosphorus as nutrients. Okay, third one is wrong. 2 should be part of the answer. Next, as the official answer key already we have, so it also plays the role of what? By removing the uneaten fish feed as well. Okay, uneaten fish feed as well. Again, question is tough. It's not easy. Okay, question is tough. So if we do not have any kind of idea, then such questions will not attempt. So somewhere we have framed a strategy. If this is the case, we'll just mark it as all 3. We'll use some strategy to eliminate. But here we'll not use any kind of strategy to eliminate. Only if we have knowledge, we'll attempt. Otherwise, we'll completely leave the question. Okay, very important because it's a very tough question. Now here, based on this question, probably I have not added, but what we can do is, what are the other such systems or filters that can be used in recirculating aquaculture system? So what do we understand by recirculating aquaculture system? The water will be removed, it will be purified, again sent back. Okay, sent back to the ecosystem. Sent back to the ecosystem. Okay. So again, these terms they appear in the newspaper. They do appear. Okay, multiple times they appear. Even the science and technology page also they appear. So, but sometimes it will be difficult for us to comprehend all the things. Okay, all the things. But as I already asked, we'll prepare this content, and also based on this, I have prepared some extra material as well. Okay, point number 61. Point number 61. Important astronomical objects and phenomena. Okay. So, what are Cepheids? Periodically brighten and dim due to pulsations in their outer layers. Okay, so they are stars. Okay, so they brighten and dim. So here, okay, Cepheids we got to know. So first one is wrong. Second, what is nebulae?
A large cloud of gas.
And dust in space. So stars which bright, see, they are cross connected. So Cepheids, it should get connected here, it should get connected here. So both of them are wrong. Next, pulsars are rapidly rotating neutron stars formed after the supernova explosion of massive stars. So that are formed when massive stars run out of their fuel and collapse. Okay. So third one is correct. Neutron stars that are formed, whether pulsars are neutron stars? Neutron stars formed after supernova explosion of. Okay, right. So this is when the massive stars run out of the fuel and collapse. This is supernova. Okay, supernova. So hence this third one is correct. Okay, third one is correct. So these terms they will not be visible. It will not be. We should try to visualize and try to retain this content. Okay, try to retain the content. So Cepheids, nebulae, pulsars we have seen. Similar kind of words which appear in the newspaper. There are mentioned. Red giant. Next, white dwarf. What is neutron star? What is a black hole? Okay, so black hole is one which repeatedly appears in the newspaper. Okay, so quasar, magnetar, okay, protostar, supernova, remnant, galaxy. Okay, next you continue in that fashion. Finally, you come across event horizon. So all these terms are important. You just go through these terms once. Okay, you go through these terms once. So again, if you have any kind of doubts also at a superficial level, we shall have a discussion in the forthcoming classes. But these terms are important. You will go through it and you will not understand these terms. Some terms you will not understand. You will try to use some kind of analogy and try to visualize the things and retain the content. Okay, retain the content. Quick classification. Yes, the classification is there, right? Stellar objects, explosive stellar death phenomena, interstellar medium. Other, just leave it. Just focus on the previous content. That's it. Next, which one of the following countries has its own satellite navigation system? So, see, already we have discussed, right? So, when it comes to satellite navigation system, globally, which all countries have it? We just write it here. So, global navigation system.
Global
Russia, USA, China. So, Russia, name is GLONASS. USA, GPS. China, BIDO. Next. When it comes to regional navigation systems, so we have Japan. Next, India. USA is already it's over global. Yes, UK. Next. Okay, sufficient. We shall stop here itself. Okay. So based on this, we'll be able to answer. So which one has its own navigation system? Japan. The famous country Israel does not have it. Next, Australia. Again, one of the important countries does not have it, but these are not important. This is important. Okay, it has its own satellite navigation system. Okay, navigation system. Now, once we prepare this, we have to go one step ahead. What is that? So, when it comes to GLONASS, it's not that important because we do not use the services of GLONASS. BIDO, only we need to know that BIDO belongs to China because we do not use its services. But when it comes to GPS, it is important because we use the services of GPS. Okay, we use the services of GPS. So we need to understand this for the functioning of this GPS, how many satellites are present? That is Navik satellite. That is for India. I am speaking about GPS. Okay, there are somewhere around 31 satellites. Okay, 31 satellites. This content you have to look into it. Okay, very important, because all our navigation system presently we are still dependent on what? GPS. Okay, probably in the upcoming year, so we may bring some kind of modifications wherein the navigation might start happening based on Navik, but presently we are using the services of GPS. So in that context, we need to know more information about GPS. And although we saw in the previous class, so on top of GPS, what was built? Gagan. So question related to that appeared. So it means somewhere, okay, so somewhere related to these themes, questions have appeared. Okay. Next, consider the following statements. Ballistic missiles are jet propelled at subsonic speeds throughout their flights, while cruise missiles are rocket powered only in the initial phase of flight. Okay, so ballistic missile and cruise missile, they repeatedly appear in the newspaper. Even the basic knowledge if we have, then we'll be able to answer. In the previous class also, somewhere during the discussion of other topics, we came across these things. Okay, so in case of ballistic missile, the path will be like this. Okay, in case of cruise, it will be almost straight this path. So more energy is required for cruise missile. In case of ballistic missile, initially it will give a push, it will come here, then freely it will fly, it will fall here. Okay, it will fall here. Now ballistic missiles are jet propelled at subsonic. So what is subsonic, supersonic? These are speeds. Okay, supersonic means more than 5 times the speed of the sound. Mach 1 and Mach 5. So when do we call the speed as more than the speed of the sound? Mach 1? No, there is some particular word for it. So whenever any
More than 5 is
supersonic,
supersonic. More than 5 is hypersonic.
hypersonic, more than 5 is hypersonic, yes. Just more than the speed of the sound? Sonic, just sonic?
Subsonic is less than
Subsonic is less than the speed of the sound. Okay, more than the speed of the sound?
hypersonic.
No, hypersonic is more than 5 times the speed of the sound. Okay, so Mach 1 means speed of the sound, right? You just search it once. I'm also getting confused. Okay, Mach 1. Next, what is supersonic? Okay, so more than the speed of the sound, that is called supersonic. What is hypersonic?
More than
Mach 5. Okay, you just note those things. Okay, in this context, you will note what is, first you'll search what is sonic, what is subsonic, what is supersonic, what is hypersonic. Okay, now we know that ballistic missiles, they are not subsonic or all throughout the flights, while cruise missiles are rocket powered only in the initial phase of the fight. So this is false. So cruise missiles, continuously they will be fired, continuously energy has to be supplied. So hence first statement is false. Agni 5 is a medium range supersonic cruise missile. So this itself will go wrong. Okay, BrahMos is a solid fueled intercontinental ballistic missile. False. So BrahMos is a cruise missile. But if you compare this question with the 2015 or 16 question, where they asked similar kind of questions on missiles. Okay, so what do they focus? When it comes to missiles, the first thing that they will focus is, they will focus on the distance it can travel. Okay, the distance it can travel. Okay, so one is distance. Okay, distance that it can travel. So when it comes to, see, if you start doing an exercise, Agni 1 is there, Agni 2 is there, Agni 3 is there, Agni 4 is there, Agni 5 is there. When it comes to traditional books, they'll start from Agni 1, Agni 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on. But what we are interested is, we are not interested in the Agni 4 now. Now we are only interested in the recent version, Agni 5. Okay, Agni 5. When it comes to ballistic missiles, we'll focus only on Agni 5. So what do they focus here is, these missiles, they consist of how many stages? Okay, so that stages they will focus. Okay. Next, what kind of fuel is being used? Solid fuel or liquid fuel? So type of cryogenic, it will not come here. It will come in the context of rockets. It will come in the context of rockets. So what kind of fuel we will use? Okay, so what is the distance? How much weight it can carry? For example, Agni 5 can carry 1 ton of fuel like uranium, and can take it for what? 5,000 kilometers. So that range is important. Okay, range is important. Also, Agni 5, whether it is indigenously built or we have borrowed from some other country. Indigenously built. So there was a program called as what? integrated guided missiles development program. So under these integrated guided missiles development program, there were different categories of missiles built. So one is Prithvi, next Akash, okay, Trishul, next Nag, finally Agni, and within this Agni we have multiple series, and the tested version is Agni 5. But already what development of Agni 6 and Agni 7 is taking place. Okay, Agni 7 is taking place. So here we will not focus on all the older versions. We will only focus on the new version, Agni 5. Okay, number of stages, fuel used, what is the range? Okay, what is the range? Similarly, when it comes to ballistic missiles, so which is the most famous ballistic missile? Here they have mentioned about BrahMos. So BrahMos has been jointly developed by Russia and USA. So what does the BRA indicate here? Brahmaputra river. So MOS, Moscow river of Russia. Okay, Russia. Now in this BrahMos, it has appeared in the newspaper in the context of India exporting this BrahMos missiles to some other country. Which is that country? No, search it. Which one? Philippines. Okay. So Indonesia. Now it's also Indonesia. So that export is important. Okay, that export is also important. Where they are being exported. Next, when it comes to BrahMos. Now we have discussed about international what understanding, for example, which is that? So nuclear suppliers group, India is not a part of it. There are some organizations of which India is a part, but China is not a part. Which are they? Wasena arrangement, Australian group. One more is missile technology control regime. So whether MTCR rules are applicable to ballistic missiles, whether they are applicable to cruise missiles. Okay, so again, because in the context of export, whether India is permitted to export these missiles to these countries, whether MTCR will put some kind of obligations on India. MTCR, whether it has any kind of implications for ballistic missile, whether it has any kind of implications for BrahMos missile, just search it. Are there any restrictions? No, but when you look at MTCR, it only deals with missiles for a certain range. Which is that range? 500 to 300 to 500. Okay, so that only for those missiles it's applicable. Okay, so anyhow, leave it. If you are getting confused, we'll just leave it. So at least we need to know about what? These basic things. Okay, basic things. Now, for ballistic missile, we will only prepare for Agni 5. Whatever the details we are preparing, we will prepare only for Agni 5. When it comes to cruise missile, we will prepare only for BrahMos. Okay, nothing else. Okay, nothing else. Otherwise, what you will do? You will check whether there have been any recent cruise missiles that have been built by India, because we have not gone through current affairs. So, is there any recent ballistic missile that we have tested? Whether Agni 6 we have tested, Agni 7 we have tested. So, those things we shall check and we shall update the same. Okay, update the same.